She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We're very blessed that you decided to join us today. Today we're going to talk about your finances. What are the biggest obstacles that you seem to be facing in your financial life? You see, there's problems everywhere. You know, you can find them. You can search around for them if you want. Some people like to ignore them. But there could be problems in your career, your finances, the marriage, the kids. They're all over the place. But what is more important than a problem is the solution. And with the solution, there's got to be a plan. And when you have a plan in place, then you find success. Here on the Dani Johnson Show every day, we're bringing you tips and content and even skill development on how you can improve your life and have greater success in every area of your life. We posted on Facebook a question. What is your biggest obstacle that is keeping you broke? What's the biggest financial problem that you have that's keeping you stuck financially? We've had some responses. I think today we're going to have the opportunity to learn with each other on how to solve some of the simplest little things in our finances that turn into gigantic problems. We've got solutions and we've got them today. So if you know anyone else that right now is struggling financially, you might want to text them. You might want to call them. You might want to even post this link on Facebook right now and letting people know that they can listen to this absolutely free. So let's go ahead and go over to the phones right away. We have Julie Ferguson from Texas. Julie, what is your biggest financial obstacle or problem that we can help to solve today?
Hi, Dani.
Hi.
I would have to say our credit card debt, even though it's about $14,000, which may not be a lot to some people, that's a lot to us.
Which is awesome.
And we're just barely making that minimum payment, and we're seeing that minimum payment is doing absolutely nothing. It's like we're just giving them free money.
You know what? You're totally right, Julie. You are 100% right. Okay, number one, I have to tell you, I am so proud of you, and it's so good to meet you right here, right now, because most people look at $14,000 worth of debt and they think, oh, that's no big deal. In fact, I had one woman on one of these shows about a year ago who she thought $200,000 worth of debt was really no big deal. She goes, I'm not in that much debt. I go, well, what is not that much debt? She goes, oh, $200,000. I'm like, you think that $200,000 worth of debt is not that much? Woman, there's something wrong with your head. She goes, well, it's nothing like my parents. My parents have $300,000. Whoa! So you have the right mindset. $14,000 you say is not a lot to others, but it's a lot to us. I love that. And I want it to seem like it's a lot to you because it is. Any amount of debt is too much debt, in my personal opinion. It wreaks havoc on our emotions.
Yes.
How do you feel with that $14,000 worth of debt hanging over your head?
Like I'm going to cry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that pays the bills in the house.
Yeah.
So I try to figure what doesn't pay so I can pay something else.
Yeah.
My husband doesn't get money at all. He just doesn't have a mindset for it. So it's hard to explain it to him.
Mm-hmm.
But he thinks, oh, we make a ton of money when we don't. I had heard something on one of your Facebook pages once, something like you take 10% for tithe, 10% for past due, and I want to say you had a third 10%, savings.
Mm-hmm.
And so try to live off of 70%.
Right.
So I sat down and I looked at everything. I wanted to get us to living off of 70%.
Good job.
Well, that put us like $400 in the hole.
Wow.
So then I didn't know what to do.
Right. Okay. Well, then let's look at this because there is a solution, and I love that it bothers you that there's $14,000. I love that your husband is really positive and says we make lots of money. So let's look. Let's look at this, okay? Because something's going to have to change, honey.
Oh, no, we don't do movies. We don't eat out at restaurants.
Good job.
So
then we have to look at where is the money going. That's what we have to look at.
Exactly.
So if you're the one that pays the bills, you're the one responsible and in charge of where the money is actually going. So let's just go on this little journey and we're just going to find the solution, okay? So first of all, what is the monthly income with everything? You know, investments if you have those. You guys have rental properties if you have those. Everything that makes money, what is the monthly income?
I want to say Okay, real quick.
You should know exactly how much it is. You're the one that pays the bills and manages the bank account.
I should. I have it on an Excel spreadsheet.
You know exactly what the number is. Don't be embarrassed. I want the number.
No, I honestly don't. But I'm going to have to say just maybe a little under 4,000.
Oh. How many people are in the house?
4.
How old are they?
That's the part I'm afraid to tell you.
How old are the people in the house?
Okay, so we have 2 boys, but they are both young adults. One's 21 and one is 26.
Okay. And why is the 26-year-old still in home?
Okay, so we did just move to Texas last year,
Okay.
so he chose to come with us,
That was sweet.
which I wanted, you know.
Yeah, of course. And so why didn't he get his own apartment?
I feel like I didn't do a good job when they were little.
Oh,
So
hold
I
on,
feel
hold
like
on, hold
any
on, hold
chance
on.
God gives me to have him in my home, I'm thankful.
Okay. Okay, but still $4,000 a month is a ton of money for 4 people. Your husband's right. So let's look at the food bill. That's the first place we're going to look.
The food bill does kill us, especially once we get to the meat department.
Oh.
But we only mostly do chicken.
Uh-huh.
We can't even really afford hamburger, which is crazy. I do the chicken fillets like you do, except I heard that you can cut them into 3.
I do.
I don't know how you do the 3.
It's easy.
Sometimes I barely can get a 2.
Oh, gosh. The 3 is easy. Now, hold on a second, Julie.
Okay.
$4,000 a month in income is a lot of money. So here's what we're going to do. It's a lot.
Okay.
Like, it's a lot of money. It's a ton of money. So let's look at, and you live in Texas, which means your food bill is really low, meaning you have access to spending very little on food in comparison to living in California, where the food
Right, which is where we moved from.
Oh, okay. Okay. So has the food bill changed since you moved from California?
I'll be honest, I didn't really pay attention to it in California. I started just noticing it more here.
Yeah, well, it's much cheaper in Texas. It is cheaper in
Yes.
Texas than it is in California. I can tell you that because we moved from California to Texas also, and I was blown away and surprised. Okay, so let's go ahead and dissect this problem.
Okay.
What is your monthly housing expense?
Our rent is $1,100.
Okay, so it's $4,000 minus $1,100.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now we're down to what? $2,900.
Yes.
Right? We have 4 individuals in the house, 4 adults.
Yes.
My budget for my family has been $20 per person per week for food. $20.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah. Which means
And
that
that's for all 3 meals? That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Yeah. So that's $80 a week.
Yes.
I had a woman who had 7 children plus her and her husband that her food bill was $386 a month.
Oh my gosh, I can't even.
Which is not $20 per person.
Right.
$386 per month divided by 9 people.
Wow.
So it's less than $100 a week is what she was spending. Now, prior to war on debt, prior to getting serious and having a plan, she was spending $1,600 a month on food for the 9 people in the house. Okay? So she brought that $1,600 a month food budget down to $386 for the same 9 people. Okay? That's how serious she was as a mother and as a wife and diligent with war on debt. Do you own war on debt?
No.
Okay. So the food budget is the biggest place where most people waste the most money. So if you're doing $80, if that's all you put in your pocket on your way to the grocery store, there's a lot of things that would not end up in your basket that cost money and give poor health. Cost lots of money and don't result in good health, that result in poor health, which results in more cost. All right. So let's just say it's $100 a week for the 4 of you. I personally don't believe you should be providing food for your adult male children. I believe your adult male children should be contributing to the household. Because you said, I felt like I didn't do a very good job when I was raising my kids. So just having them around, I feel better to have the opportunity to influence them as young adults. Great.
Right.
Well, you have to ask yourself how you want to influence them. Do you want to influence them into being entitled children, boys that don't grow up? Or do you want to raise men who are responsible for themselves and one day responsible to raise their own family?
Yes, that's what I want.
If you have this extended time with your sons with you, then it's time to start training them to be men and not boys. All right? So them pitching in for the food and the rent would be wise, and electricity would be wise. And it's a simple conversation. Sons, please forgive me. I've completely messed up. And I didn't realize that what I was doing was setting you up for future failures. And as a mother, I'm supposed to set you up for future success.
Right.
So I'm hurting you by you not having and owning the beautiful responsibility of providing for yourself. So from this day forward, you will be pitching in for electricity, rent, and food. I'd be happy to continue to cook the food, but that's about all it's going to be. You'll also be responsible for contributing for your own cleaning needs. Laundry, cleaning up after dinner, all of those things. Are both of these boys working?
No.
Then it'd be more like, boys, you have 2 weeks to get out.
I have an excuse for my younger one.
I don't need to hear an excuse. Excuses are nothing but well-planned lies. And you are.
He doesn't have
listen
a
to me.
driver license.
Does that matter? He has feet.
Well,
He can borrow a bike. He can do a skateboard. There's nothing that can stop him from getting a job. Here's the reality. Julie, you are emasculating your sons. You are turning your sons into children and into girls. Women stay home. Men go to work. Women stay home only when they have children to care for. You are turning your sons into girls. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Are you taking notes? I am. When we come back, Dani helps Julie set up a game plan for launching her sons into adulthood. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success. Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your freedom, your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Sometimes we can think we are helping, when in all reality, we might be really hurting somebody. What I found as a mom of 5, now grandmother of 8, when I look at the actions or the things that I'm teaching or guiding my children or grandchildren to do now, what does that look like moving forward? What seed that gets planted inside them? What habits am I forming inside of them that will it hurt them or will it help them? This is a conversation that Julie Ferguson and I are having. They've just moved from California to Texas. I love the fact that she hates that she has $14,000 worth of debt. Her husband believes they make lots of money and doesn't understand why they have the debt. And so we're kind of going through the budget right now, and we found that she's got 2 grown sons living at home, 21 and 26, and we're talking about how to solve these financial as well as parental problems. All right, so Julie,
Yeah.
I know you love your sons. I know you do. And I feel like you don't want to be an empty nester. And you are holding on to motherhood, but these are men. These are grown men, and you are either imparting really bad habits into these grown men, or you're going to help them become awesome husbands one day, awesome fathers, awesome examples one day. So there needs to be a deadline and a date of when they are getting jobs, and they are required to pay X amount of dollars, and you better not make it small. This could almost be a profit center for you. That you need to. One of our sons, when he became an adult and he had moved out and then he moved back in, we charged him a healthy amount, and we saved the money. He didn't know that we were saving the money for him. You know, this is money that was set aside, and and then when it came time for him to leave, he had a nice chunk of money. He didn't know that that's what we were doing with it. He thought we were, paying expenses with it, but we were in a position we didn't need to, but he needed to practice paying for his own way. Do you know what I mean? But instead, without him knowing, he was building up a little bit of savings that was helping him get out. I'm facetiously saying that. Okay, so there needs to be a deadline for the boys. There really does. And jobs need to happen this week. Their full-time job starting tomorrow is finding a full-time job. And then rent is due by the end of October. Okay, so within 30 days, rent is due. Okay, and from the rent that is due on a weekly basis, they have to contribute money towards food. Otherwise, as they're getting their first paychecks, what are they doing with it? They're blowing it in places that they shouldn't be. So, Mommy, it's time to raise men, future husbands, instead of emasculating your boys. So that's one place where money is going. But even if it wasn't, okay, $4,000 a month with $1,100 a month for housing, $2,900. Okay, so if you're spending $100 a week on food, which is more than what my budget was raising my huge family, and like I said, my other client who had 7 children, plus her and her husband on $386 a month. Okay, what does that mean? That meant there was no soda pop. That means there were no potato chips. That meant there was no Cheez-Its. That meant there wasn't all of this prepackaged food that is really expensive that leaves you hungry and unsatisfied. So she started shopping very healthy, living food, found that people didn't eat as much if there's apples and oranges for a snack, which are the cheapest of the fruits to buy, always buying whatever is the cheapest of the fruits to buy, and vegetables. So fruits and vegetables, she found that they weren't, eating a whole bag of fruits and vegetables, but instead, eating more portion sizes that are healthier and more beneficial for the body. Also, no prepackaged dinners, no prepackaged anything, nothing coming in a box or a can. Making everything fresh and from scratch is always cheaper, always healthier. Everyone eats less when you make it like that. So it's easy to cut the food budget down. So if you get that food budget down to $400 a month, even if you didn't listen to me on the fact that you're emasculating your sons, so now we're at $2,500 a month. What's your electric bill?
It's roughly about $234 was our last one.
Okay, so now we're at $2,200 a month. Is there car payments?
Just one.
How much?
$234.
Now we're at $1,800 a month. No, we're at $2,000. We're at $2,000 because I left a buffer on the other month. Okay, so we're at $2,000 a month. Insurance?
Yes, it's like $172 something.
$1,800. Where's the rest of the money going? I already gave you food, electricity, housing, car, insurance. So the rest of the money, you have $1,800 worth of what we call fat in your budget right now. That's $1,800 spent on luxuries. So where's that $1,800 going? Something to think about. You have to really make a decision. Where is $1,800 a month going that is benefiting us and helping us to become debt-free? This is Dani Johnson. We'll return with more Solving Financial Problems right after this.
Stay right here for more of The Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. The most common question I get usually are from people who are trying to juggle their life. They've got kids who are involved in all kinds of activities. They've got business or their job, finances, trying to get out of debt, plus all their church activities and all the volunteer activities. And they're pulling their hair out going, how do I juggle this all? Man, I once lived just like that until I learned Time Secrets. Time Secrets showed me how to be able to cut my hours from 100 hours a week that I was working down to 20 hours a week and tripled my income as a direct result with what I learned. Time Secrets also showed me how to get my priorities in order, which healed up my marriage. And I became a mother that I was proud of versus becoming the mother I didn't want to be. And so if you feel like your world is running around in all kinds of different circles, you can fix that. Call 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880 for Time Secrets.
Prior to getting to Dani Johnson's First Steps to Success, my husband and I were completely broke. We just filed bankruptcy. We lost our home to foreclosure and we were on food stamps. After the second day of her event, we figured out where all our money was going. We got ourselves out of debt in 3 months. We paid off $18,000 worth of debt and are completely debt-free. And now we've finally created a life of our dreams. We've made a six-figure business and we're just doing everything that we want. So if you're thinking about coming to First Steps to Success, you've got to make it happen. Sign up right now and make sure you don't miss it.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was hopelessly lost in addiction. My relationships with people, coworkers, family, friends failed. I was struggling under the bondage of debt, and I had no clear vision or purpose for my life. After taking my first steps to success, I've been able to pay off $7,000 in debt in about 4.5 months. I have a clear vision and purpose for my life. I can honestly say that my addictions are a thing of the past. If you're interested in changing your life in whatever way, in whatever area, you need to log into DaniJohnson.com and you need to be at the next First Steps to Success.
Prior to coming to First Steps, I was miserable. I never talked to people because I thought I was shy, I thought I was boring, and I thought that I was destined to be alone forever. After coming to First Steps to Success, I broke through all of those lies. I built confidence and I used the skills that I've learned there to get myself an amazing job where I will be put quickly into a position of leadership. So if you're ready to find out who you are, why you are the way you are, and how to get new skills to dramatically change your life, you need to join me at the very next First Steps to Success. No excuses, no delays, get registered now.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm from Massachusetts. And before plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was buried under a sea of self-doubt, fear, and my communication skills were non-existent. Sales non-existent as well. But after attending First Steps to Success, my sales have quadrupled. My fear has been lifted, and my relationships are better than ever because I communicate better than ever. If you want your life to turn around, all your dreams start coming to fruition, you are going to be at First Steps to Success.
Prior to plugging in to Dani Johnson, my husband and I were drowning in a sea of debt. I had broken relationships all around me of the ones that I cared most about, and I had started a company that was losing more money than it was making. And after plugging into Dani Johnson, we have paid off $196,000 in 13 months. My company has grown 90%, and I have relationships that I could never have even imagined with the ones I care most about around me. So I don't know about you. Maybe you're making all the money you need to. Maybe you're doing great. Maybe your relationships are phenomenal. But if they're not, I encourage you to get to the next first steps to success.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
What you focus on is what you get more of. So if you focus on the problem, you're going to have more problems. But if you focus on solving the problem, solutions begin to flow in your brain like beautiful wildflowers in springtime that just blossoms everywhere. And then you pick the best possible solution and you have to execute it. So today we're talking about financial problems and how to solve them. Most of the time, financial problems are solved just with simple little tweaks. That's it. That's all that it takes. Simple little tweaks. So we asked a question on Facebook. We have some people that are waiting on hold that have some financial problems that would like help with solutions. We're going to the phones now with Darren Wolbers from Iowa. Darren, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. How can we help you?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So what's the financial problem?
Where do I even start?
Somewhere would be good.
Right now, I am a total debt of about $159,000.
Okay.
Most of that, probably 90% or so, is student loans.
Nice. That's painful.
Yes, it is.
That's really painful.
I made some mistakes in the past. There is some credit card debt. There are some personal loans.
Mm-hmm.
And over the last couple of years, especially this year, I've experienced a lot of health problems. I've been in and out of the hospital, living on short-term disability, relying on a lot of public programs, that sort of thing.
Wow. Darren, what happened with your health?
What's that?
What happened with your health?
Well, which time? I was in the hospital for a staph infection for about a month back in January.
Ouch.
I was on IV antibiotics for about a month.
Painful.
Got out, came home, wasn't working, wasn't driving. Went back in March for a terrible migraine that they thought had turned into a stroke. Fortunately, that's not what happened, but I was still in the hospital for about 4 or 5 days.
Wow.
Went back to work for about 3 or 4 weeks. They thought it might have been a heart attack about 2 o'clock in the morning. Turns out that it was a panic attack.
Okay, hold on, Darren. Why do you have all this stress and all of these health problems in your life?
Some of it is inherited. On my dad's side, I have bad genes. And some of it is...
Talk to me about the food you're putting in your mouth.
I eat. I started eating better about 4 months ago.
Yeah. That's after the stroke, after the heart attack, after the panic attack, after the staph infection.
Yeah, exactly.
You're one hard-headed sucker, man. Okay.
Well,
you really are.
I've had, in the last 2 years, I've had 3 blood clots.
Yeah. You know that 100% of everything you're telling me is completely nutritional deficient and 100% related to what food choices you're putting in your mouth?
Yeah.
Okay. So you do, wait, whoa. You just ran right over that. Oh, yeah, I know that. Really?
Because I studied dietetics at Iowa State, so.
Okay. Oh, wait. So that was my next question.
Yeah.
The $130,000 worth of student loans?
Mm-hmm.
What is the education that you got? What's your degree in?
I've got 3. 2 are in culinary arts, and 1 is in dietetics.
So you know exactly what you're supposed to put in your mouth.
Absolutely.
And?
I have been living with depression and anxiety most of my life.
Hold on. And what did you put in your mouth?
For most of my life, stuff that I shouldn't have.
Okay. That has nothing to do with depression. It has nothing to do with anxiety. It has to do with what you chose to put in your mouth. Period.
I was a stress eater.
That's your choice. Which is your choice to be a stress eater.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 3 degrees.
Right.
How exciting. Culinary?
Yeah.
How exciting. That's a fun and exciting degree.
You know what? And it used to be fun.
Darren, I'm going to tell you what your biggest financial problem is. It's your mind.
Yeah.
That's your biggest financial problem, is your mind.
No focus and no direction.
It's more of you have an intense focus on excuses. You have an amazing ability to focus on excuses. You have an incredible focus and ability to accept a mindset of inheriting bad genes.
Yeah.
Which is why you went to school for dietetics, because you actually wanted to not end up like some of your family who's sick and in the hospital all the time and on medication.
Exactly. And
but even after all the knowledge,
because of that too.
But after all the knowledge, at the end of the day, you chose to waste the money instead of using it. Even if the dietetics degree was just for your own personal, you know what I mean? Own personal investment. Yeah. That in itself might have been worth it. But you literally have, you know what I see? You have 2 culinary degrees and you have a dietetics degree. Right. Do you know how those 2 things can be completely married together?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, wait, how much weight do you need to lose?
Right now about 200.
Yeah. So I want you to picture this. What a perfect scenario. A man who has 200 pounds to lose, who chose a life of depression and anxiety, who chose to be a stress eater, today makes a new decision. That he's done with that mindset. He's done with the price that he has paid for the excuses, for the focus being on what's not right, what's not good. But today he chooses to take control over his life. And today he begins to walk out the journey of utilizing the 3 degrees that he owns. Yeah. How can I make super good, healthy food taste amazing, but be healthy for the body and build muscle and burn 200 pounds of fat? Mm-hmm. Imagine starting to blog, even if you just were Facebooking, your journey, your daily food that you're choosing to make. Even if you took your smartphone and you made videos of the different foods that you're making. Here's another twist. How to make inexpensive, healthy gourmet food that tastes amazing and lose 200 pounds in the process. There's a book I'm going to recommend to you. Okay. It is so good. It has changed my life. It is called The Body Fat Solution by Tom Venuto. The Body Fat Solution by Tom Venuto. So he handles and addresses all of the emotional eating stuff. I understand about being an emotional eater. I used to be 50 pounds overweight 4 times in my life from 18 to 22, and that was without being pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually lost weight in the pregnancies instead of gained weight in the pregnancies.
Wow.
So I understand the emotional eating. I was a depressed, suicidal person, and food was my absolute drug. I was married to it. You know, a whole box of Wheat Thins with a whole jar of peanut butter, that was just a snack.
Oh, my God.
Just a snack. Another snack would be 2 pints of vanilla fudge Haagen-Dazs ice cream, and let's add the 2 candy bars. I know you know this stuff. The 2 candy bars that went along with it, too. Those candy bars. You know what they were? A Bounty bar. You talk about taking a Mounds bar and making it 100 times better. That's the Bounty bar.
God.
And then the Milky Way Dark. Yeah. the milk. I have to start talking about it. I'm almost wanting to put one in my mouth right now. Anyway, I understand being an emotional eater, but I also understand the day I made the choice that I was done being fat, that I am done struggling in this way, and I'm done with food controlling my mind. I thought about food in the middle of the night, so I got up and I ate. I thought about food all day long, so I ate constantly, and whatever I ate, I never felt satisfied. But what you have right now with a 200-pound weight loss, I just interviewed Carmen O'Quinn, who lost 160 pounds in 13 months. She had the revelation as she's looking at her 2 kids that she was teaching her kids how to be obese, and she didn't want her kids to suffer with that. She's 5'4". She was 285 pounds, not pregnant. She lost 160 pounds in 13 months. That's incredible. It's been 13 months. She has kept all that weight off. She's a completely different person, all because of a decision that was made all in one day. You have that choice. The Body Fat Solution by Tom Venuto will address the emotional part, but more importantly, teach you what macronutrients to have on every plate and what percentage of macronutrients to have on each plate. It's going to help you lose weight. It's going to help you get fit. And it's going to help you create a cookbook. It's going to help you create a cookbook that is inexpensive, paying off your debt, with healthy foods that taste like they came out of a restaurant, that are easy to prepare. Do you know what kind of a humongous need there is out there for that? This kind of solves the problem of needing a job. You're going to create your own job. You're going to write a cookbook every day. Every day you're going to be able to. Why? Because you're eating 4 to 5 times a day these meals that you're going to create, teaching people with various different spices. You can record these. It could be a video cookbook. It could be a cookbook on, again, inexpensive ways to prepare great tasting meals and lose 200 pounds. Because that's what you're going to do, Darren. And then I'm going to interview on the show, and I'm going to show you a before and after picture. And people are going to be in awe, and they're going to be shocked at how you solved your financial, weight, and every other problem you got going on in your life. This is Dani Johnson. We'll return with more right after this.
Everybody has some part of their life where they're struggling, but the reason they're struggling is because they're missing one thing from that area. Next on The Dani Johnson Show, Dani will show you what it is.
You want to succeed, right? But you do not want to fail God at the same time. There is a way to succeed from a biblical perspective, and it's far greater than anything you could ever imagine. Over 500 scriptures I studied to study money, everything that the Bible said about money. That's in the first couple chapters of Spirit-Driven Success. Not to mention leadership, working with people, growing a career, being used mightily in the marketplace, which is where Abraham, God used him in the marketplace. And Joseph, God used him in the marketplace. Moses, God used him in the marketplace. Daniel, Solomon, really all of the greats of faith, most of the greats of faith throughout the Bible, they all were in the marketplace, and God wants to show you how you can be used mightily by him in the marketplace. Right here, Spirit-Driven Success is where all of my notes are on how you can do that. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Spirit-Driven Success today.
My name is Andres and I'm from Latvia. Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was a struggling English teacher back home. I had a language school that I started when I was 21 and had grown it to be pretty okay in my city. But at the same time, I had acquired a debt of $60,000. In a matter of 8 to 9 months, I got rid of my debt. And by 2011, we had our first $1 million year. This has been amazing. We grew our school from about 100 students to 2,000 students. And I can only highly recommend for you to come to the next event and be part of this community and learn the tools that will help you to succeed.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, my family and I were hemorrhaging under the pressures of debt. Since attending First Steps to Success in January of 2014, my family and I have paid off over $147,000 in 19 months. We're completely consumer debt-free. We have restored relationships, and our business is growing at a rate of 15% at every event. Your next step is to sign up for the next First Steps to Success and start creating your own story.
My name is Jeff Conyers, and prior to First Steps to Success, I was a struggling business owner. I had discovered that my business account went negative $5,000, and I realized that I did not have a business plan and I needed to do something. Fast forward to 1 year after, I have now created, just by implementing the tools at First Step to Success, over $50,000, created another business, improved my personal and business relationships. Man, it's like the story is forever changing, and it just gets better and better. I don't know about you or what you're going through, but I would highly recommend getting to First Steps to Success.
Prior to plugging into First Steps to Success, we were drowning under a mountain of debt. We were heading to divorce court. We had failing businesses and toxic relationships. Since plugging into First Steps to Success, our marriage has been restored. We have paid off over $56,000 in 11 months. We've helped our community pay off over $300,000 in 14 months. My business has grown in over 600% in 4 months. And for the first time, I could say I'm just loving life. I have great relationships. So if you are fine where you are, then this event is not for you. But if you're ready to reach your goal and to change your life, then I highly recommend that you get registered for the next event.
Hi, my name is Jill Kearns. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Prior to coming to First Steps to Success, my husband and I were struggling financially and were hurting in our relationship a lot. We needed more time together, and we just were struggling with that because of the finances. And so since plugging in, we've actually paid off over $280,000 in debt. We are completely debt-free, and more than anything else, the look on my husband's face of relief and excitement about where our future lies, and the traveling and the fun, enjoyable times that we'll get to spend together as a family is totally worth it. So if you want to have better relationships with your significant other, your children, if you have a desire to be completely debt-free and released from that bondage for whatever reason, whatever the burdens are, your next step is to get to First Steps to Success right now.
So prior to getting started to DaniJohnson.com, I was a college dropout. I was working a bottom of the barrel type job. I started plugging into her training. I've skyrocketed through the ranks of corporate America. I've tripled my income in the last 5 years. That's all fine and dandy, but it wasn't, there's a part of me that had a part missing. So I ended up using Dani's prospecting skills, and I ended up meeting the love of my life. Since then, we've paid off $32,000 of debt since October 2014. So get here now. This is the greatest thing ever. You have to see this. The skills and strategies Dani teaches are unbelievable. They totally took someone like me with no education and helped me just like multiply my efforts. So you need to be here.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
There's 1,000 excuses that we can come up with to keep our life exactly where it's at, or even to make it worse. But there comes a day, there comes a moment where you're done. And I hope today is that day. Because if you're struggling financially, this is the day where you have to look at your habits. Oh, I know you don't want to, but you need to. Because if you keep going on the path that you're on right now, where does it lead? If you keep with the same financial habits that you have, where does it lead? You see, a man without a vision will perish. And oftentimes, because we lack a financial vision, we head ourselves to financial ruin. It's the same for a physical vision, a health vision, a marriage vision, a parenting vision, a career vision. Wherever it is that we lack vision, that's the place that we're perishing. Those are the places where we have the biggest problems. It's because we lack vision in those areas. What is vision? It's making a decision and taking action on something we want to do, something we choose to do that is better than what we're doing right now. It's a very simple thing if we choose to take the step. So we're talking about financial problems today and how to solve them. We have Gail on the phone from Michigan. Gail, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. How can we help you?
Hi, Dani.
Hi.
My obstacle seems to be able to save money. It just seems like I have more months than money at the end of the month. And
can I ask you a question, Gail? Did you ever hear your parents say things like that?
Probably my father.
Mm-hmm. That, you guys just never had enough money, and there just doesn't seem to be enough, and we've always got more month left over, and man, I wish we could save money. So you heard your father say things like that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's where that idea came from.
From my parents?
Yeah. You see, everything our parents say about money gets imparted into our brains, and it forms our belief system about money. Your belief system about money is there's never enough, and there's more month than there is money. So let's look at it. How much is your monthly income?
$2,400.
Nice. And how many people in the household?
Just one.
And did you say that you don't have enough money?
Yes.
Honey, there's entire families with 4 children and mom and dad that live off of $2,400 a month. So
Yes, and I'm listening.
where's your money going?
You know, that's what I'm trying to figure out too.
Let's figure it out right now. Okay, so you have an income of $2,400 a month. Good job, lady. Good job. That's a good income. I'm proud of you. Now, do you know that on $2,400 a month, you can actually start to create wealth?
I could?
Oh, yes. And do you know you could be completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years, including a mortgage if you have one?
That's my plan.
On $2,400 a month, you can do that.
Wow, okay.
Oh, there has been thousands upon thousands and tens of thousands who have already done it on $2,400 a month.
Awesome.
You know what else you can do on $2,400 a month? You can actually take a really cool vacation to like a place like Israel for a couple weeks a year, or Bora Bora, Hawaii, the Caribbean, Central America, Europe on $2,400.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. You could do all of that on $2,400 a month.
I'm listening.
Now, would you like to do any of those things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But has it been a goal of yours, and has it been something you've been working towards to get there?
I know, it's on the back burner.
Yeah, and that's why you don't ever have any savings, is because you don't have a financial vision.
Yeah.
So let's start with a financial vision. Where's the first trip you're going to take? When are you making that last mortgage payment? When are you making the last credit card and car payment? Just assign a date. Pick 7 years from now. It could be 7 years from now today.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what do you do for a living?
I am a manager at a convenience store.
Oh, okay. So there's processes that you have to follow, right?
Right.
Yeah. And the processes are already set up, right?
Right.
And the processes result in success, right?
Right.
So you're going to establish some processes, some financial processes that are going to kick out the same kind of success.
Like what kind of examples?
Okay. Have you ever heard of War on Debt?
Oh, yeah.
You have. Do you own it?
I do not own that one.
Okay. Well, do you think it would make sense to spend $100 to learn how to create wealth and to be completely debt-free in 5 to 7 years, including your mortgage?
Yeah, that's very little considering. Yeah.
You think? How much debt do you have to pay off?
Actually, I just have student loan is my big thing, and I have about $30,000 in student loan.
So what about a car payment?
My car is paid off.
Your car is paid off.
Right.
Do you have any credit cards?
Just one small one, about $300.
Okay, awesome. So, and do you have a mortgage?
No, I rent.
Wow. So you have 30,000. Girlfriend, your whole life is about to change. So does it make sense to invest $100 in developing your skill so you can absolutely abolish $30,000 worth of debt, I say, in the next 18 months?
That helps having a date.
Doesn't it?
Thank you.
Yes, yes. War on Debt's going to show you how to do it, but let's get started. You are one person in the household. The average budget for food for you should be about $20 a week. If you're going to get real racy, $25.
Okay.
You're probably spending $500 a month on food.
I'm spending about $70 a week. You're close.
No. Does that include eating out?
I don't eat out a whole lot.
Excuse me? I bet if you were to comb through your last bank statement, you would find that you eat out a whole lot more than you think, and you spend a whole lot more money on food than you think. because $2,400 a month is a lot of money for a single woman. So question, what's your rent?
$600 a month.
You have to be kidding me.
No.
$2,400 minus $600 is $1,800. Your car is paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Where is $1,800 going?
I do have an herb and vitamin habit where I do buy herbs and vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to admit that's probably a big chunk.
Would that be in that food budget of $500 that my guess is?
Not that I told you about. Yeah, so if I included that, then I would probably bump it up to $500.
It'd probably bump it up to even a little more than $500. Okay, so even if it was $500, that leaves us with how much left? $1,300.
Mm-hmm.
That's with eating out, all the vitamins, and the grocery store, which, by the way, if you're spending $70 a week, that's more than I spend on a family of 4.
I know.
No, it's not, Gail. I know. Gail, $2,400 a month is enough to create wealth. It's enough to travel the world. It's enough to be completely debt-free inside of 18 months. Completely debt-free. Free as a bird. Pick a place. Where do you want to go? You want to go to the Caribbean? Do you want to surf in Hawaii? Do you want to jump out of an airplane? You can do anything you want to do on $2,400 a month.
I have been to Hawaii once, and I would love to go back.
Well, it's time. Set the date and look at your budget and stop spending money in stupid places. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Be sure to tell a friend about the Dani Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
My name's Erin Hudson, and I'm from Huntington Beach, California. I just have to share with you, I never thought I'd be up here in a million years. And I have to tell you, my story is not my story. My story is to help each one of you, to give you a little bit more hope. And as I share with you my story, I apologize up front. I get really emotional. We have been through hell and back. And I share this with you again to really give you hope, okay? Prior to coming to First Steps, we had filed for bankruptcy in 2010. I was a broken woman. My marriage was in a downward spiral. My kids were completely out of control. My business ruled my life night and day. And then I found Dani Johnson. Since attending First Steps to Success in July of 2012, my marriage has been restored. My kids are now the most respectable, loving children to one another and to their parents. We never traveled anywhere. We now travel around the world and have traveled with many of you that we consider close friends. We've gone to Belize the last 2 years, and I've been able to share with my children and show them how to serve others that are in more need than any of us happen to be. On top of that, our biggest accomplishment yet, I would have to say, is last month we paid off the last of our debt, and we paid off in the last 2 years and 2 months $892,000. Wait, hold on, and some cents. $892,522 of debt, and we are now officially business and personal debt free. I have to say, this core report that Dani's going to equip you with today is going to change you. You're going to become a phenomenal champion communicator, and just with what she's going to teach you this afternoon, we're projected to hit $1 million, and I know it's because of what she's going to teach you in this next portion. And without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce my mentor and coach, America's favorite millionaire, Dani Johnson.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
I don't know about you, but it seems like often the problems that we have in our life, we are usually the ones that have created them. I find that problems often come when we lack vision and we have no goals. We have nothing in front of us that we are actually reaching for. When we don't have goals, we're not practicing diligence or self-control. We're not putting our focus, because we're always focused on something. So in the case with Gail was focused on the same thing her dad was focused on, which was even a lie. I always have more month left over and not enough money. Gail has way too much money. That's the problem. She has way too much money and no vision of where she wants the money to go. When you decide the life that you want to live, it's amazing how you have the money already in your hands to go after the things that you want to do. So you heard me talk about War on Debt. If you have not invested into that program, get it now. It's going to improve your life, your lifestyle. It's going to improve. It's going to annihilate your debt. All of it in 5 to 7 years. In Gail's case, 18 months flat. That $30,000 can be gone. And those next 18 months, she's on forget Hawaii, go to Bora Bora. Forget it. Forget Hawaii, go to France. Go to England. Go to Iceland. Iceland is so gorgeous and so amazing. It's like you're on a totally different planet. Not only that, listen, have you ever had a heart to do something good in the world, to actually help people, to use your life to benefit someone else who is suffering, someone who is starving, someone who has nothing? That's what I have found a great passion for. Traveling is a blast, but there's nothing more rewarding than helping people who cannot help themselves, like orphans whose parents have died, okay? Like a family who's been born into extreme poverty where their home is not a home. It's scrap metal, it's scrap wood, it's plastic bags wrapped around 2 trees that they're creating somewhat of a dwelling, and the leaves in the tree is basically their shelter. Such a terrible place to live. But look, when you make money, hold it. When you put your focus on multiplying your money, you learn new skills about how to budget your money. You learn how to live the life you want to live. And part of that life is that you want to go do good in the world. Come with me. Let's go this year to Nicaragua. Let's go and build houses for the extreme poor. Your family and my family getting together and doing some important work. Let's build schools for the extreme poor. Listen, in this country, there is not extreme poverty. There are some poor people, and fortunately or unfortunately, there's an insane amount of government programs that are handing out all kinds of more handouts on top of handouts on top of handouts. And in some situations for emergencies, I think it's an amazing thing. But when people become dependent on those things, now it's a different thing. But let's go to a place where there is no government to help and there is no family to help because the entire family is so poor. If you go to kingsransom.org, you're going to see a project that we're working on. Come on, let's do it together. It'll be so much fun. 1,000 homes. That's what we're building for the extreme poor, and schools, developing communities and bringing in teaching to help them start businesses so they can break the curse of poverty off of their lives and learn new skills so that they don't ever have to live like what they've lived like and what they've watched generations live like. Kingsransom.org. You'll see it right on the homepage. 1,000 homes. Let's transform a nation together. Let's do something great with our life. All right, this is Dani Johnson. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we will talk to you tomorrow with some more content that's going to challenge you to become more successful in every area of your life.
This has been the Dani Johnson Show. If you want to hear more, visit us at DaniJohnson.com. If this episode was an encouragement to you, go to DaniJohnson.com and share it with your friends now. You never know who else needs to hear it.